Assalamu alaikum, banker.
Lando Norris Hive. How we doing, bankers? How we doing?
We're doing great. We are doing great.
Yes.
Yes, we always believe.
Both members of the Red Flags podcast, Matt and I, both members of Lando Hive, are doing great because Lando Norris is
our boy
is a world champion by 2 points, baby. 2 points. A third place finish was all that he needed. That's what he got. Oh my God. I felt like I after that race ended, it's you what's it gonna feel like, right? When your boy gets it done. And for some it's joy. For some it's ecstasy. For me, it was just pure relief. It felt like I had been constipated for like a fucking 3 years. And it finally crested, and I just plopped the shit into the toilet, and I said, thank God that's out of my body now. That's what it felt like watching Lando do it, but he did it. He is the world champion, whether some of you fuckers like it or not, and whether you, Matt, like it or not. No, I know you like it. You love it.
I love it. I mean, I don't love it look, I got to just take Lando at his own words, right? I mean, he had the fastest car. Right. So this should be what's the big deal? This is what's expected. This is standard. So, no. I had, when he was talking about it being his dream, his little dream, and since he was a kid, and I was getting choked up because, he's talking about all the people that supported him, because I was one of those people. And just to be just a small part of that support system was really, it was great to share in that, to have been in on that from the beginning.
Yeah.
I think he definitely won some people over finally in his post, his post conference, when he was talking to, forgot who it was, but he was like, I'm crying. I was crying. And he was like, I feel like such a fucking loser crying. Yeah. And I forgot, was it David Coulthard?
It was Coulthard. Yeah. It was Coulthard.
You look like a winner to me. He's like, I'm such a loser. Why am I crying? Like,
yeah.
And then the only person actually that kind of put a damper on it for me, I thought it was like he was doing such a good job. And then they interviewed his dad. And he's like, a lot of parents, they pack it in. Not us.
I know.
Not us. We stayed the course. I'm like, well, it helps that you're like an oligarch, right? A lot of these parents, they mortgage their home and then they call it quits. They call it quits. I was like, dude, shut the fuck up. He's stunning on other parents. What are you doing?
Yeah,
like he's like doing a victory lap on his own parenting commitments. I couldn't believe. I was like, why are we even talking to this guy? Do we? Why? That is, F1 is such a weird sport that we're talking to his father. Like, he's got he should have nothing to do with it. You talk to Zak Brown, you talk to Stella, you talk to a mechanic. Right. This guy's got. But because there's this idea that this guy wrote all the checks for so many years.
Yes. There is an expectation.
There's an expectation that he gets to, stun on these hoes a little bit.
Right.
Because there was maybe a few other millionaires that he's got his own shit with, It was big, literally.
He was getting stuff off his chest. He was just kind of like. It was kind of like in Jordan. It was kind of like in Jordan's Hall of Fame acceptance speech, where he was like still like going over gripes. It's like, baby, you won. Just say you're proud of your son. And he was taking like a little too much credit. I was like, there was almost like it's
I mean, honestly, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine if one of our parents won. If we had won and our parents were given the mic. I mean, judging it on a curve. I mean, I think I think he did a much better job than one of our parents, but I was like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why? Why are you stunning on the parents? But that was the only, in terms of that moment, that was the only ding. I would have much rather they interviewed Lando's mom because she just seems like positive vibes. I saw her go to hug Oscar. Yeah. Real classy move. Went to hug Oscar. Big red flag. You guys have all the money in the world. You could design any track you want, and then you have you get the title race. You pay all this money for the title race, and you put the pit crew above. So we have to watch this little 5'5" guy try to jump, and high. It's like you need him to jump into the mosh pit.
Right.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
And this whole thing is fucking designed to make him look like an idiot. A fucking idiot. What are you doing, you guys? You're blowing it.
One of these. He was like,
yeah.
Line. He had to be like, come on now.
There's few things more rewarding in sports than watching those little guys jump into the crowd of big men. Instead, it's like, it was lame. It was lame. They fucking botched that moment. I'm sorry, but they did.
This is, of course, the red flags brought to you by BetMGM. We're going to be talking all things Abu Dhabi. We're going to be talking all things this championship, Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, what this means, where this sits, what's going to happen going forward. There's much to discuss. The thing that I was kind of annoyed by was I wanted them to interview Max. I wanted them to interview Max and Oscar too. I wanted them to interview the other guys because for it to just only be about Lando after the season that Max had and after the race that he did, I was kind of like, let him talk. Let him it was a valiant effort, and both, it's like Lando didn't just win this race out of nowhere. It was like he won it against them. They should have their moment to the only thing I've heard from Max is when he's in the media pen. They should have given him a chance to acknowledge the team publicly, acknowledge the crowd, acknowledge the work that they've done and all that, because, this season was as much, and it might be looked back. This was another thing that Adam Norris said that kind of annoyed me. He was like, no one remembers who finishes number 2. No one remembers that, seriously. He was like, at the end of the day, it's only about the winners. That's the only people that really, truly, no one remembers who's number 2. And I'm like, baby, you're trying to make fetch happen. People are going to remember this season for the Max Verstappen performance as well. It's not just going to be this season won't just be and then Lando won and that's it. It's it'll be Lando won the championship by the skin of his fucking teeth, and Max Verstappen put up one of the greatest comebacks in F1 history and barely lost out. Can we discuss the fact that George Russell is the reason that Max Verstappen does not have a championship right now?
George Russell's the reason. Kimi Antonelli's the reason. Kimi Antonelli's the reason in a couple of ways, right? He took out Max. He didn't do it on purpose, but that pass that caught that last week. George Russell. There's so much you said that I want to respond to. First you said about and I agree with you. First you said that they didn't interview the other guys. They didn't interview Oscar and Lando. I think that's such a good point because Oscar and Max. Oscar and Max, because it was so interesting. That was because they used the three of them to try to gin up so much hype. It's a 3-way, baby.
Yeah.
We're in a 3-way. This ain't just your regular run-of-the-mill missionary.
We're poly.
We're not doing. This isn't your run-of-the-mill missionary style championship fight. We're in an open we're in a polycule with this bitch.
Yeah.
And it's is it Max? Is it Oscar? Is it Lando? It's going to probably be Lando, but no, it's a polycule. And then they did this great thing, and they had this montage in the beginning. And then they had this amazing moment where they fucking marched those 3 guys out there. I don't know if you watched the pre-show, but I'm up at 4:20 in the morning watching this pre-show.
Yeah.
They've got these 3 guys just awkwardly standing there together in front of the championship. trophy,
and
they're just standing there. And the camera's just there, and they're not talking. So it's like really making a meal, and then Lando wins. It's like, get out of here. Scat.
Yes.
Go. It's like, what are you doing, man? You built this whole thing up, and like Max had a really interesting journey. Oscar had a really interesting journey. And then what you said about nobody remembers number 2, that is such a good, that was such a little bitchy thing that he said. That was a little bitchy thing, and he said, and we don't know what we don't know what Lando's legacy. The rest is still unwritten, as Natasha Bedingfield would say. So we don't know. But, you know, when you think about 2007, you don't fucking think about, nobody thinks, the first thing that comes up isn't Kimi Räikkönen. It's like, holy shit. You remember Lewis Hamilton, his rookie year, tying Fernando Alonso and them fucking it? Like, so it's too early to tell, like, where, like, how this championship is going to, like, this year is going to be viewed.
Right.
Like, we just don't know. And we don't know where Lando's going to be viewed. We could talk about that in a second.
It'll depend, how it's viewed will depend on these next couple of years.
Yes.
If it is the case that it's like, yeah, he squeaked out that first win, but then McLaren went on to dominate for the next 4 years, then it's like this was the beginning of like the McLaren dominance, of the Lando Norris potential dominance, and whatever. But if they kind of like go back and Max continues to win championships, it will continue to be the like, well, you know, if this is the beginning of a Vettel type run, then that's a different story. But no, certainly, you know, the Max Verstappen of it all. I mean, it's interesting. It's like you say that about Kimi, for sure. Like if Kimi didn't hit him in, where was that, Austria, or Hungary? I can't remember which one. But where Kimi, you know, on lap 1 hit Max and took them both out of the race, for sure. But you can kind of like sometimes do that about lots of things. You know, if Lando's engine hadn't cut out in fucking whatever. I think what's interesting about the George Russell stuff,
Monza switch. I mean, there's a million little things that,
for sure. But what's more interesting to me is that about the George stuff is that some of that stuff is kind of out of your control. And as perfect as Max Verstappen is as a driver and as flawless as he has been all season, and as much as he is maybe the best to ever drive a Formula One car, he has one flaw, as I see it. And it is his temper. And for that to rear its head and, you know, for him to lose his head and hit George in that moment, losing 9 points. He's got a 10-second penalty. He would have finished in 5th, I believe, and instead he finished in 10th. So it would have been 10 points to 1. 9 points there. It's just, you know, it's an interesting... I'm curious what Max truly thinks about that now, because Max seems totally fine with what happened today. I mean, he was just kind of like, yeah, you know, what? It's fine. Yeah, it's like he seemed genuinely unbothered. I think that the run that they went on, he feels good about, but it's just an interesting, I wonder how much, if this will be a learning for him, and if there will be like, you know what, that's the one thing that I have, and I'll never do something like that again, because if I had not done that, I win this championship.
Yeah, I think he definitely wants that back.
Yeah.
I think he wants that back, for sure. Sure, he came as close as Max Verstappen comes to expressing open regret. He said something like, yeah, I wish I'd have that back. I saw red. He said something to the effect of like, God damn it, I wish I had that back. It's crazy because I don't even think he thought he had a chance at that point.
Right.
And now he knows that he can never think that way. I want to move. I don't know if you want to move because it's interesting because like, this Lando championship, we can, because the race was kind of boring. We could just go straight to
kind of. I thought the race was like pretty thrilling in certain times, just like not knowing when they pitted him into traffic. I mean, the race was boring in the fact that it was like Max was going to win, and Oscar was seemingly going to get second. But that third place there were times where I was like, Charles Leclerc was on his fucking ass for those first
in the beginning
10 laps. I mean, he loses the place to Oscar in the beginning,
That was thrilling. But then I was always in the back of my head that like, if he was fourth, they would just tell Oscar to just disappear, just hit the brakes and let
But I was also like, the thrill of that, even them doing that was kind of like, oh my God, if he's in that position, because Oscar was going to be comfortably in second, so they would have had to make him go second to third to fourth.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because if Lando was in that position, putting him into traffic, and then overtaking those guys as Leclerc did, him doing the double overtake, and then Leclerc matching the double overtake, I was like, oh my fucking God. Then the pitting. And it looked like Leclerc maybe was going to catch him. They put him on hards. I was like, "Oh my God, is this gonna pan out?"
The Yuki Tsunoda, the building up to the Yuki Tsunoda moment, and I'm like,
let's talk about the Yuki thing, because this is a lot of people are now talking about this, and people are calling for now. Everyone's on the fucking Yuki hate train.
What are they going to do? Fire him fucking twice? Yeah. Go fuck yourself. Shut the fuck up. First of all, you guys don't understand. If he wanted to, he could have just put him in the wall and just won Max the championship. So like, he was trying to break the toe.
Right.
He was aggressive. Yuki can't win, right? Because either he was too aggressive or he wasn't aggressive enough. So he's kind of in a thankless position.
Well, he's also on old ass hard tires.
Yeah.
And that McLaren on those hards had pace. I mean, Lando was able to blow by that whole little DRS train in in a second. And Yuki's there on old fucking hards. I guess what he could have done is like slowed, because I think like maybe the move is like you slow down even more in the parts of the track where Lando can't pass. Like you really kind of pump the brakes in those areas. But on that straight, he's weaving, but they weave. You watch the Indy 500, these motherfuckers, when Joseph Newgarden is at the Indy 500, they go from like one end to the thing to the other. This is part of,
they're trying to break the toe.
Motorsport thing.
It wasn't late. Toe. It wasn't late. And then the other thing is, I mean, yeah. And it's interesting.
Jenny wants to make sure that we discuss that. Jenny's really angry at Martin Brundle. She's very mad at Martin Brundle, because Martin Brundle was saying it was one of the most disappointing things I've ever seen. It's one of the most disappointing things I've ever seen about Yuki.
It was interesting. I was on the other feed. They were like, they were like, that's disappointing from Yuki. Wish we got a little more from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Real Rorschach test.
I would have liked him to keep fucking going. I'm into it.
Yeah.
I was into it.
Martin Brundle wants him in The Hague. And then Jolyon Palmer and David Crofty were like, that's it? All this buildup? That's it? Are you kidding me? And then they showed the replay. And then I think it was Palmer that was like, wait a minute. Fucking that guy's over the line.
Well, I'm curious your thoughts on this. Were you screaming at your TV when he went over the line?
Rules are rules. Rules are rules. The line. It's not a judgment call. He overtook off the track. So I think Lando got a. And it was interesting because Jolyon Palmer was saying he thought these racing drivers are always like racing incident. Yeah. They never want to call anything. Jolyon Palmer was saying he didn't think Yuki did anything wrong, and he was kind of like, don't think it's that big a deal what Lando did.
Right.
But those lines are there for a reason.
I know what Gunter's going to say. He's going to say no penalty for either of them. It's racing. Yeah. It's racing. Let them fucking race. To me, I'm like, yeah, that's fucking racing. If Yuki's doing some kind of like borderline shady shit, then Lando can do some borderline shade. Like we're in the shade together here.
Okay,
baby.
Okay, Brian. But I know you're a big Lando fan.
Yeah.
But as a business person, just as a shrewd businessman, what percentage of you wanted F1 to wheel Michael Massey into the office in a Hannibal Lecter out, like, in the straitjacket and the mask, and have him give Lando a 5-second penalty just to make it interesting.
It would have made it interesting. I mean,
God damn it! Did they not? Did the racing gods not open the heavens and say, "Here you go, something interesting"?
Right.
That was the one chance we had at drama, and the racing, and then they were like, "Nope."
Yeah.
Because then Lando would have had to do something. Lando would have had to really scramble for it.
Well, it would have been interesting. Lando, I think, had 8 seconds on Leclerc at the end, but Leclerc would have been pumping in those laps at the end of that race, trying to get in there. So that would have been it would have been thrilling if Lando had to.
I don't think it would have been a death sentence.
No.
But he would he have had to pit? Was it before his pit stop or at? Because that would have maybe, or would he have just been tacked on?
Before the pit stop that whole thing happened. He would have had the penalty before the second pit stop.
See, there you go. Because that would have been thrilling. Because he would have had to pull in. Those McLaren guys would have had 5 seconds to think about the pit stop, and that would have, because they were on at this time.
Right.
They were on their pits, all of them. Also, fuck you to the F1 TV, because Lando comes in for the most important pit stop of the season, and they don't shoot it. They shoot it in a wide. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?
You didn't even get either of the pit stops. They're like, this is the pit stop moment. We got 2 guys coming in. You got to see fucking both of them. And there's a guy on a handheld.
Could you imagine if he blew that pit stop and they didn't get it?
I know.
If they didn't, could you fucking imagine?
Insane.
They got so lucky. Could you imagine if it was a Valtteri Bottas pit stop and he lost the championship and they just didn't get it?
Yeah.
They were like, let's just see all the cars come in. It's like, we don't give a fuck about the other cars. No one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
How about you? Hey, how about you just get a fucking like a fucking Twitch streamer just in there with their iPhone? We need to get something. Fuck. How do you not get the most important pit stop of the fucking season? Yeah. God damn it. God damn it, Brian.
No, it's crazy. And then, Jenny points out even more. This is true. I love Martin Brundle. I love Martin Brundle. But sometimes, because then he was saying, Red Bull was, that was borderline unsportsmanlike, telling Yuki how far Charles was to Lando. That's really, I'm like, what are you talking about? That Yuki's job is to slow Lando down so Charles can fucking catch him. It's absolutely vital information for him to fucking know that. What are you talking about?
He's completely delusional.
It's just the British. It really is the British thing, and it is just
it's really like the McLaren. He's like, what should be is like the McLaren way. They should be slitting each other's throats and sabotaging each other.
But it's just I think I'm gonna next year. F1 TV is gonna be my thing, baby.
I made the switch. I'm
just gonna make the switch because then it was also it's with that. It's I don't know what he said in 2016 when Lewis was slowing the entire pack down to try to get someone to overtake Nico Rosberg. But that was, shady. That was the exact same kind of fucking thing that right now he's calling out. But, it's Lewis Hamilton. He's British. But
Max, people were on F1 TV side, they were being like, he's not even doing it.
I know. I was shocked that so this is really interesting because we had talked about this on the Patreon after qualifying that
subscribe
could have tried to put more of his thumb on the scale.
Yeah.
Of let me try to back up this pack. Let's try to make it tight so that people actually have some opportunities to pass each other here. And they had that pit window. At one point he had a pit window. He was up 20 something seconds on Piastri. They could have pitted Max. Max would have been right there with him. He wouldn't have needed to slow down. He would have had fresher tires. No, I'm like, there's no way Piastri passes him. But honestly, even if Piastri does pass him, who gives a fuck? You need to you take that risk to potentially win this thing. And they decided not to do it, which I did find to be pretty shocking that they didn't do that. That they kind of didn't pull out all the stops. You know what I mean?
I couldn't believe I was so shocked. And Jolyon Palmer and Coulthard were talking about, they're like, okay, but they have the window, but it's disappearing.
Right.
the window's gonna close because
Oscar's on fresher tires.
Gonna catch him. Yeah. And then it disappeared, and they were stunned that he didn't do it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I can't believe he didn't do it.
And he was cool with it.
I think it's interesting that I think it goes to the attitude that Max had after the race, and the attitude that he's had kind of the whole time, which is just kind of like, I shouldn't even be here. Like, this is bonus.
But you are there.
I know.
So why not?
I don't know. It's interesting. It's very interesting because I think if that's 2021 and he needs that, he's doing it. 100% he's doing it.
Well, I think they asked him about it. I asked him about what it means and blah, blah, blah. And beforehand, he goes, they're around the trophies. He goes, I got 4 of these in my house.
Yeah. My signature hasn't changed.
Right.
It's like, my signature's on there. It's on there 4 times. It hasn't changed. I'm already on
right.
There.
So, but if that's the case, then why are you still doing it?
I know. Yeah.
Like, why not just retire if that's your attitude? Right. I really am fascinated by that mindset.
Right.
But then there's, this is such an antiquated thing. But I remember, Sterling Moss didn't give a fuck about points. Thought points were lame. Right.
Right.
Never won a WDC. Just wanted to win every race and just gunned it every race. Never thought about. Same thing with Senna, honestly. Senna tried to win every race as quickly as possible. He never had this Machiavellian scheme of
Frosty.
Because Prost finished more consistently than Senna. And that's why, it's really interesting because Senna, in those days, they took your 10 best results out of 16.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just
right.
So that really favored Senna.
The rest.
And they scrapped the rest.
Yeah.
Because if the championships were scored then like they are now, Senna would have beaten the shit out of Prost. Prost would have beaten the shit out of Senna because Prost just finished well consistently, and Senna would win, or he would crash or retire, or he'd blow out his engine. But those 6 races or 11, those 5 races that he flamed out, they just wouldn't count. It was like SATs. You could cobble together your best scores.
Right.
So that
yeah.
Whereas now it's all you can't do that.
Everything.
So,
well, it's a different era in terms of also it's because back then I think that was because so many times engines would just blow out,
up.
It was more. Now everyone finishes every fucking race except for Lando Norris this year. But that it's like. That so rarely happens now that it's different. But that's an interesting. I did the points tally for also how they used to score it, where it was 10 points for the winner, and I kind of put through I put it on Perplexity. I was like, how would what would the standings be with this thing as opposed to the 25 to whatever, and Lando would have been way more comfortably in the lead with that, the way that the points used to be.
Well, because do they reward winners more now?
I think podiums, they reward winners more now. And podiums used to be count more. And Lando has, because now at this year, Max 8 wins. Lando, Oscar 7 wins.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Lando had 18 podiums to Max's, let's see, where did that actually end up? It was Lando had 18 podiums, Max had 15, Oscar had 16 podiums.
Yeah, Max had more anonymous races. That's what killed him. Had more races where he's finishing 5th, 6th.
Right.
Yeah, I am so fascinated that they didn't go for it. I'm interested. Can we see the constructors? That's another. Wait, can we just see the constructors? That's the other thing. Constructors Championship F1. Where did that shake out? Maybe there was something there. Maybe that was.
I don't think so. Red Bull,
no.
McLaren obviously first.
No.
Mercedes in second with 469. Red Bull in third with 451. Ferrari in fourth with 398.
Brutal. So it's interesting. It seems like they had third. It's not like, oh, let's just get the win and secure third. They weren't even in a close constructors battle. Right?
No, definitely wasn't for that. I think I think it was. There was maybe less of a go for broke attitude that they had for some reason. And
but they had nothing to lose. They had nothing to lose. Like, I don't understand it.
Vankas, that's it. The 2025 season is done, but the 2026 season is right around the corner, and you got to place some bets on it with BetMGM. Do you think McLaren's taking it, or do you think that the Mercedes organization, is George Russell going to throw his hat into the ring, or is Max Verstappen going to reclaim his championship? Well, guess what? You can place all those bets with our friends over at BetMGM. Plus, all the other sports that you love so much. And as you know, we've teamed up with BetMGM this season, and we are using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks. And we'll have special offers for our listeners each week. And if you have not signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code DADDY, and you will get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app. You sign up using bonus code DADDY because we're fun. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game. You will receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. Just make sure you use the bonus code DADDY when you are signing up. BetMGM. Make it legendary.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 for New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 for Massachusetts. 21 and over only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP for Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF for Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 for Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
Vankas, do you ever feel like you're running on empty, staring at your screen, hitting that afternoon crash and debating another coffee, something that you're going to regret? Well, Yuki, what should they do instead?
Chew the NeuroGum.
That's right. Enter NeuroGum. Gum and mints give you clean focus without the crash, sugar, or sketchy ingredients. Don't you think so?
I think so, but the guy with the sensitive palate thinks so, and that's what matters.
And most important thing is taste good.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm foodie. I'm very
picky.
Yeah, that's right. And I try multiple gums, similar kind of product, but by far the best taste I had, and doesn't really stays in mouth. The kind of weird taste. If that makes sense. That's why I'm not swearing these days. I was feeling uncomfortable. I tried multiple stuff, and it stays in mouth. Behind a helmet. But now, why I'm not swearing these days? NeuroGum.
NeuroGum is the reason that Yuki's not getting fines. Okay,
yeah.
He's keeping the bank account full. He's not getting fined by the FIA because NeuroGum is all about getting your memory right. So when you're in the car and you maybe want to swear, you remember. Hey, I've been chewing my neuro. I can't swear right now.
That's right.
And that's important, and that's why you can only you can swear here, but not in other places because you have that control now. And you can find Neuro at CVS, Amazon, and neurogum.com. And for a limited time, you can get 20% off your first order at neurogum.com by using the code VANKA when checking out. That's neurogum.com. Use the code
VANKA
for 20% off.
How do you spell?
VANKAH.
KAH.
That's how we spell it.
That's how we spell it. It's not how you should spell it in real life.
It's not however you want, but if you want to get the 20% off, you got to spell it like that.
Okay.
Neuro also offers caffeine-free options for all-day wellness and support. Neuro's memory and focus gum are made with American ginseng to support mental clarity minus the jitters. Neuro's sleep and recharge mints offer melatonin and chamomile to help you unwind and rest without pills or sugary gummies. We all know sleep is very important.
Super important.
Super important. We got to make sure we have that tonight. Get some good ass sleep.
That's right. Jet lag especially.
Yeah.
That's right.
From Europe.
Come on. Now back to the show. Maybe like a reputational hit if they were doing stuff that people kind of saw as shady. Like if people kind of felt like they were doing something that felt shady, maybe they were worried about reputation or something. Because it's interesting, Max was all fine after the race, seemed completely unbothered. But GP was on the pit wall sobbing after the race.
I'm so in love with that.
I know.
I'm in love with that. Dude, that's
rocks.
Jenny when we didn't win some meaningless award back in the day. She's like, no, we didn't win the creator award of this thing that I spent an hour and a half on the application.
And Jenny filled out the whole application. We didn't get it. She was all upset, and we weren't. No, I mean, I think Max kind of alluded to like this year has been really hard for GP, and people don't know why, but I do, and I look forward to speaking with him. I think maybe he's got some stuff going on in his personal life.
Yeah,
but yeah, it just shows the toll that this thing takes. And I mean, you saw it after the race with everyone. You saw, the way Lando crying, talking about all the work. This thing is we go to 5 races this year, and I'm like, yeah, it's taken over my entire life. I mean, like, it's impossible to recover from going to 5 races, let alone 24. These people uproot their entire lives. They are constantly on the road. You have to make so many sacrifices in order to do this, and then on the last race to come up 2 points short. For GP, if you do have something going on outside of the track, it's just you put in so much effort, and to get so close and not win it, must be devastating. And he was
you missed your wife or your husband, and you missing your kids' recitals, and I mean, Gunther talked about this. Like you miss every milestone, every fucking one. You give it all up, and then to come that close and not make it, and I still, it's like inexplicable. And for Martin Brundle to say, for them to just ask where Leclerc is unsporting.
Yeah,
dude, they have fucking Liam Lawson at any moment that they could just deploy. I mean, when Lando Norris was trying to pass Liam Lawson, I'm like, dude, this could be over. Liam Lawson.
That's why he had to do a sneak attack on him. He had to do a sneak attack on him because he was like, if Lawson knows that I'm here, then like he will fucking who knows with this kid. So he had to do the double overtake and sneak him.
This guy has the highest body count of like wings, and dude, he's the John Wick.
He's gonna be on some K-Mag shit. He's on his K-Mag shit. We're going to have to make a wanted by the FBI, wanted by the FIA shirt about Liam Lawson, because it's only a matter of time before that kid gets a race ban.
Yeah,
and I mean, in that seat.
He's always fucking something with him. And I hate to say this. Yeah. Actually, I love to say it.
Say it.
Christian Horner's team principal. I mean, release the hounds.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Burns, release the hounds.
With the penalty.
What do you mean?
Lack of a penalty.
Well, yes.
Or just everything.
I just think Liam Lawson is collecting Norris's wing.
Well, I also think that they're pitting Max and making him, back up the pack as well.
Yes.
And they're on the horn, being like Lando Norris he'd be there with fucking like a chart with Lando Norris's tires off of the thing. This is where he was. He'd be on it would be Zapruder film. We'd be looking at it from 18 different angles. They'd be protesting with the FIA.
I'm so disappointed. It's like, who's running this team now? Toto Wolff? Like, what Abu Dhabi am I watching? Where they just
It's a move to the middle. It's a move to the middle that Red Bull has done here. I think honestly, you've touched on a really interesting point here. I think that they, with bringing in Mekis, and, I think that there's like we're cleaning up our thing. We're cleaning up our image here. We're not like, we're not trying to be fighting for the knife in the mud. But that's what they've done. It's interesting. Like they've kind of, I think consciously as a team moved in that direction. And this race was kind of an example of that. Like I agree. I think if Christian Horner is running that team, then this race goes differently. Now, if Christian Horner is running that team, do they get to this point?
I don't know. We don't know what we don't know what the vibes were. I mean,
right.
We have no idea, but it seems like, I mean, in Christian's, I hate to say defense, right? But those upgrades were in the can.
Sure.
Before they got rid of him.
Right. But there were a bunch
of culture-wise, it seems like, there's just like, you're not hearing news about him. Like that's got to be a distraction, right?
Right.
And Mekki seems, it's just less noise.
And there was like a few times where Max was talking about like the way that we set up the car, some of the way, the processes. I think he enjoyed the way that the processes have improved with Mekki's running the show. So I think that there's like maybe an overall, like, this is a better way to run our team on a macro sense. Like, this is like, we're in better hands on like we can be more efficient. There's less distractions. There's less noise. There's this, that, and the other.
But also in a micro sense, like more like just a setup.
But sometimes the noise is necessary. And in a race like today, you kind of needed some of that noise. You needed some of that, like, let's be the villains. I don't care. Like, no. Like, it actually goes to the
working
Adam
the refs.
Norris phrase, though. But it goes to the Adam Norris kind of like sentiment. It's like, I don't give a fuck about second place. No one remembers who is in second place. I will do anything to win.
Right. And it's interesting because, I mean, in 2021, right, it was Jonathan Wheatley, who's now at Sauber, got on the phone to Michael Massey and he said, listen, this is what we could do. He's telling him how to fucking pull it. He's like, you just do the 5 cars. You don't have to do the whole thing. And he goes, and then we'll have a motor race on our hands. Not, you'll help me. We'll get to have an exciting finish. I'm going to help you guys. This is good for you. Right? And then, so he said, we'll have a motor race on our hands. And then when Toto calls up too late, because at this point, Toto's reacting, right? It's already happened. Right. Jonathan Wheatley gets on preemptively. I mean, they're not. Red Bull was so good at this that they just this is not allowed anymore because they're fucking Rasputin. You're just not allowed to call the ref anymore.
Yeah.
But then Toto Wolff goes, Michael, this is what are you doing? This is so not right. And what does Michael say? Toto, it's called a motor race. We went motor race. He used Jonathan Wheatley fucking incepted him because these guys, they get in there.
Yeah,
they get in there. And they get in.
It's the Marty Scorsese meme. Absolute cinema. That's what that was.
And I think, if Christian was out there, just always on the warpath, always, they might think about giving Lando. They might think twice about giving Yuki Tsunoda that penalty. They might think twice about, he's just better at influencing events. He just was.
Yeah, but you need, and it's more than like him as an individual. It's just like you need someone who can be the dog. You need someone who can be the pit bull. You need someone, even though pits are actually very sweet and they have a bad rep. But it's a turn of phrase. I love pit bulls. But you need like the enforcer, like in hockey, right? There's a guy whose job it is just to fucking check motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And, protect the skill players who sometimes are a little bit, daintier. You need the Bash Brothers and Mighty Ducks. You know what I mean? And Red Bull kind of right now doesn't have that. Wheatley's gone, and obviously Christian's gone, and though they were kind of Bash Brother vibes. And I think in a race like today, you needed that.
Well, it might not have helped. It might not have even done anything, but it would have, at least then you leave it all out on the.
You would have tried everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you put pressure on Norris. Put pressure on Norris.
Right.
Sometimes Norris shows up, and sometimes he cracks. Norris is a fucking box of chocolates, right? So, who knows, right? I mean, this was the first time I've ever seen him quickly and efficiently overtake motherfuckers. Like, I was like, this has been a weakness of his. I was like, well, this is going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem.
When they pitted him into traffic, I was like, oh my God, what have you fucking done? He made swift work of it. And then Leclerc made swift work of it, and I was like, Jesus Christ. The running man continues, and it's Leclerc is actually the person who is maybe going to fuck him.
And then I didn't understand why Yuki held up George. I'm like, let him through too, dude. What are you doing? Right. Let George through. Like, you need to, like, your best chance is that Norris has a moment and that those two guys are there to pick up the pieces. Yeah. So I mean, and I'm seeing that, and I'm a moron. Like, I'm sure they could see 10 other permutations. But we're nitpicking. I mean, obviously, they Red Bull did amazing to be in the hunt. I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna go balls out,
I just wanted to see them like pull out all the stops for this race specifically. What's interesting, going back to the penalty's interesting because what they were saying, what Jolyon Palmer was saying after the race was kind of like they haven't really called that penalty this year. Like that's a foul they haven't even called. But they kind of, and he was kind of saying, if he seems like the stewards were kind of like...
Which one? The
Yuki
thing
penalty.
that Lando did or what Yuki did? Okay.
The Yuki, like, they didn't call the Yuki penalty. Like the weaving on the straights. They haven't called that really like all year. And then I think what they said is that they called it on a couple other people after Yuki did it. Because they kind of needed to be like this was an incident that like something needed to happen. Like they were like, oh, we got to like do something here. Because like... A flag needs to be thrown. We can't just call this like a racing incident, I guess, in their minds. And once they did that, it was almost like what he was saying was that they like almost had to like justify their action by being like, and you get one, and you two get one as well, because we're calling this. We're calling this now.
Yeah, that's not how precedent works. You can't establish precedent after the fact.
Yeah,
it's like. You're saying that they can't do nothing, and I'm like thinking to myself, yes, you can.
Yes, you
can just do nothing.
Just let them fucking race. But then you know what? Let them race or other times in the year as well. Let them race when fucking for that Oscar Piastri penalty against Antonelli. Let them race other times. I mean, obviously, we have, we've discussed this at length with Gunter, and we obviously know what he's going to say for Vank Hours, but yeah, just...
I think what it was is they didn't want to give Lando a penalty. They didn't want to decide the championship. So they decided to cast blame on Yuki concretely.
Yes.
They say it's actually Yuki's fault.
Right.
Because if they just said nothing, then people would say, did they just hand this championship to Norris? Or did they just let Norris get away with something? So they went hard the other way.
Right.
To be like, actually, we're not absolving Norris, actually. We're actually saying that it was Yuki's fault altogether.
Right.
I think that was like maybe their calculus. I really think that's what they were thinking.
Fucking stewards. You need professional stewards. It's insane.
Also, here's another theory that I have, Brian.
Yeah.
And we're going to get to other fucking people who are, volunteers and in it or just kind of in it for the wrong reason. In it for the pomp and the circumstance. We're going to get there.
Yep. I think I know what you're going to say.
But these guys, they volunteer to be stewards. You think they're given these fancy tools. They're given the flags, right? They're these refs. They're given flags. They're volunteers. They're weekend warriors. You mean to tell them that they fly all the way out there? They're given this special flag, these 5-second penalty flags, and you mean to tell me that they spent all their free time away from their wives and kids, and they're not going to throw the flag once, twice? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It's impossible.
Everything's going to be a racing incident. Everything's
going to be a racing incident. No.
Right.
It's like giving a toddler, a toy gun, like a toy gun that like makes a loud noise, and you're like, don't pop the gun.
Yeah.
We're in a library. Impossible.
Right.
That's why you need to pay a steward who knows. Yes. Well, I get paid whether I throw this fucking thing or not.
Right.
Makes no difference to me. I'm getting paid by the hour.
You set a precedent at the beginning of the fucking year, and then you hold to it.
Yes.
Anyway, should we go into our awards? Is there any other
I want to talk about the potential. Speaking on Adam Norris, what Adam Norris said. You want to talk about like the potential different glide paths the championship could go on, like the different narratives. So
yeah.
So let's talk about Lando Norris for a second. He gets there. I don't know how highly touted a prospect he was. He was like, from my recollection, medium, not like low, like Isaac Hadjar, where nobody really thought much, and not. But it wasn't Ollie Behrman level. It wasn't Kimi Antonelli level.
I think come F2, what Alex Albon has said about that, because they were all in F2 together, George, Lando, and Albon, was that like by that time they were kind of being positioned as like the two guys in F2.
Who?
George and Lando.
Really?
For that F2 season, they were kind of like, these are the two guys, like, we'll see who comes out on top. And Albon kind of like was like, and, you know, me too, y'all. And he kind of like impressed, and people weren't thinking about him kind of in the Isaac Hadjar kind of way.
I see.
And he kind of threw his hat into the ring. So I think come that point, he was pretty decently touted, but he was a part of the McLaren junior program, which, you know, wasn't the Mercedes junior program.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What?
Like it was
right, so,
at the time, McLaren sucked.
Right. This was in the dog days. But why did I think that George Russell was a hotter prospect at that point?
I think he was. I think that's evidenced by being part of the Mercedes junior program, which was like a better program to be in. Like you're in the fast track to Lewis Hamilton's seat. That's what the path that George Russell was on. And Lando Norris was on like, hey, like you'll be in F1, but you're going to be with McLaren. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't quite. The hype was not as high, I think, with Lando as it was with George.
I mean, it just goes to show you like how many things have to go right in some cases. That, you know, Lando is WDC and George Russell is a rabid, miserable animal. But I think that, and honestly, that Daniel Ricciardo, you know, another example of somebody like, you know, the timing was never right with him.
Right.
Another guy I think of comparable skill. But I think so. He comes in solid prospect, A minus to an A prospect, not an A plus prospect.
Right.
He's embedded. I think he's reserve 1 year, and then he comes in and he's, you know, he does pretty well. You know, Carlos Sainz beats him the first year. He does pretty damn well against him the second year. Carlos Sainz. This just goes into the Carlos Sainz hate. Then he gets the offer from Ferrari, escapes that burning building of having like prime Lando as a teammate.
Right.
Because Lando might have just started to cook him if he stayed.
Yeah.
Because it was getting close by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm going to get some hate for that. But this isn't about really Carlos Sainz. Then Daniel Ricciardo comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Because and that just shows that's
when it shifted.
That's when it shifted but that also shows that Zach was never going for like a one driver team. He's always trying to have two studs. Maybe didn't even think Lando was ready at that point.
Right.
Like probably thought Daniel Ricciardo was going to lead that team.
Yes.
And then that's when people were like, wait a minute, this guy's a stud.
Yeah.
But then was it Monza happened, and
he doesn't win in Monza.
He doesn't win in Monza. He becomes Lando no wins, and then this starts to stick on him that he can't win. And
Russia,
all these other Russia, right?
It was right after, so it went Monza. The next race was Russia,
right?
So that was like a 1-2 punch of just like, and Norris is out like on the mat, 10, 9, 8. You know what I mean? Like that was a 1-2 punch right there.
And we're in this snapshot of all these other drivers have wins. Like Ocon has a win, Gasly has a win. All these I hate to say shittier drivers, but guys with a shittier situation, who are not as highly touted at this point, just have wins, and he doesn't. So he's Lando no wins.
Right.
Then he's Lando no wins. Then he says some stuff that's kind of annoying, right? He says, I feel no sympathy for Daniel. Yeah. That got him some hate. There's other stuff in there too, though, right? In the early days, he was on Twitch a lot, and I think that really got him the youth. I think the youth really rallied around him.
He was like a relatable young driver.
Yes.
And I think he had that relatability factor where someone like George Russell, who's, you know, just doesn't have that same.
George Russell's giving the kid who wears like a collared shirt to school.
Right.
Like he's dressing for work Like he dresses to school like he's briefcase wanker, right?
Yes. Exactly.
If you ever watch the in between, he's giving briefcase wanker. Lando's giving very relatable.
Yeah.
But and I think the kids start to love him. The unks start to hate him. I think at this point, that's when the unks start to step in and hate him. Then he's Lando no wins. So then the unks can be like, you see all this Twitch stuff that he does.
Right.
He's not a killer, right? He's not a killer.
Right. He's talking about his feelings, and
he's talking about his feelings.
They're like, get out of here.
He's not a killer. And then he gets the win in Miami, which was lucky, but he got it. And then the car starts to turn around, and then he's got a shot at the championship. And I think for multiple reasons, that championship was blown. What
happened? What you're missing is what happens. So then they bring in Piastri.
Right.
And then they're shit for like half the season. But then, like, for the last quarter of that first Piastri year, 2023, they start to have pace. And they start getting podiums. And then, like, Lewis Hamilton's like, they're in Silverstone, and Lewis Hamilton's like, damn, these McLarens are fast.
Right.
Like, wow, damn, the fastest McLarens. And that's when, and Piastri gets his sprint win in Qatar.
Right.
2022.
Right.
Orlando gets... So then Piastri comes in and is kind of like this other guy. He's come in and he doesn't have a win, but he has a sprint win. He's got a sprint win. And then it's kind of like, okay, like, and then it's feeding the fire. Lando.
And he can win from pole.
Yes.
That was the other thing. Lando had gotten a few poles that he had then, I think, blew.
Right.
He's blown some starts at this point. Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, no. And then we're in 2020. Then we're in 2024, and that's that's last year. And then it's like, Max dominates that whole first quarter of the season.
Yeah,
third of the season. Those first 7 or 8 races.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden McLaren, they've found it. They find the rhythm, but Lando can't. He doesn't. He doesn't take it, and Piastri's nipping at his heels, and they don't, and they do the fucking, emotional blackmail and give him the place back, and and then the papaya rules start rearing their heads, and we're hearing reports of fucking Mark Webber behind the scenes, making sure that they don't do his boy wrong, and he's blowing starts, and he's botching that championship, and he doesn't win that championship. What I think is interesting within the narrative now is like what he ultimately did, and which I think was a huge win for him, and maybe set up this year decently well, was after all that, him winning in Abu Dhabi last year and securing them the Constructors' Championship and kind of like putting in a performance under pressure in that moment after the bad season.
Mm-hmm.
I think was a huge race for him. Huge win for him. That was big.
Yeah, but then throughout the season, I think there was some skepticism for sure.
No, there was. But I think what that showed, or maybe like proved to him, was kind of like, I can bounce back. I don't, it doesn't have to be, I can.
Oh, yeah.
Because this
for
year
sure.
he bounced,
he
was
bounced
up and
back
down
a number of times. It was,
you got to bounce back. Yeah.
He was up, Australia, he was up, then he was way down, then he was up again, then he had the Zandvoort thing and he was down, and then he clawed his way all the way back.
Right.
So yeah, obviously he does have the potential to be a goldfish. And he was bad in the starts, but I think and then he started nailing starts.
But even when he
couldn't overtake.
Even when he was bad, it wasn't like catastrophic. When he was bad. Like, we're saying when he was bad is like second place in China, third place in Bahrain. Saudi, when he crashed during qualifying, that was like Canada. A real blunder. But no. Saudi. He crashed in qualifying in Saudi. He threw it into
I know. And Canada was a bonehead move.
No, but even, right. That's a beef. But like Miami, second place. Imola, second place. Spain, second place. Canada was like a real beef. I think where I'm looking back, I'm looking on like kind of where, like, who owned which part of this season. Ultimately, Oscar really owned the first third of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Then Lando kind of owned the second third of the season, and Max owned the final part of the season, the final third.
Right.
But what made the difference this year was that even in the bad Lando times, he was still getting podiums. And in the bad Max times, because the car wasn't there, 10th place here, 10th place in Spain. Well, that was because of his fucking thing. A retirement in Austria, a 5th place in Silverstone. Remember when he spun out in Silverstone?
Yeah.
He hadn't done that. If Max hadn't fucking spun out in Silverstone, he probably wins this fucking championship. A 4th place in Belgium, a 9th place in Hungary.
And then let's not forget Oscar's bad weeks.
And then when Oscar went on his bad run, it was a retirement.
It was catastrophic.
It was a retirement in Azerbaijan, 4th place in Singapore, 5th place in COTA, 5th place in Mexico, 5th place in Brazil, and the disqualification in Las Vegas. So that run of bad, of not getting podiums, of in my time where I was bad, I was worse than in the times where Lando was bad. His bad was not as bad as Oscar's bad, and his bad was not as bad as Max's bad.
Lando's floor was higher than all the other guys' floors. But I think
beautiful way of saying the whatever just came out of my mouth.
But what's interesting is I think part of the reason that Lando got a little bit more of a choker sort of veneer or stigma than maybe was deserved was then certainly I think was deserved, because I was always appalled when it was happening in real time. Is because he had this way of being faster than Oscar all weekend, and then getting pipped in Q3.
Right.
And you're watching that, and you can't help but think that he blew it. It's like, how are you faster than
losing out than the first lap? Once he gets pole, then he fucking loses. He doesn't keep it.
He doesn't. He was like our friend Adrian growing up. He would get all these girls interested, and then he wouldn't close.
Right.
He just wouldn't fucking close. He'd get all these numbers and then just lose the number, or do text something If I found out a girl was interested in me, I closed. Maybe they weren't as many,
right?
But I closed.
Venkas, if you are a last-minute shopper like me, you know that feeling. Shelves are empty and ideas are running low. Well, guess what? Aura Frames is the solution, with a gift that feels personal, that people will actually love and use and appreciate. It's so often you get a gift and people just go nice, and then they discard it. Not with Aura Frames. Every time you get someone an Aura frame, they will look at it and think of you, and you're going to get so many points for being such a good friend, son, father, whatever it is, because Aura frames are amazing. Look, first off, look at them. They're gorgeous. But this is a digital screen that you can upload your photos onto. So you can have a rolling, photo album. But they're amazing. They look chic. They elevate whatever space that you're in. There's we have the beautiful white matte here frame, and the pictures look great. I got 2. Got one in my house that's pictures of me, my fiance, our families. Every time I look at it, I think this is amazing. They're really great. I'm glad that they sponsored the podcast and they sent us one, because now we really do love it. It's a really great gift, and the holiday season is coming around. And for the limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com and get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named number 1 by Wirecutter. We know that Wirecutter, that's where you go. You want to find out what the actual best bang for your buck and the best products out there. Wirecutter's the way. Number 1 on Wirecutter by using promo code REDFLAGS at checkout. That's AURAFrames.com. Promo code REDFLAGS. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast. So order yours now and get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Venka's hair loss isn't just about hair. It's about how you feel when you look in the mirror, and Hims helps you take back that confidence with access to simple, personalized care that fits your life. Hims offers convenient access to a range of prescription hair loss treatments with ingredients that work, including chews, oral medications, serums, and sprays. Doctor-trusted ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil can stop further hair loss and regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. Christmas is right around the corner, and those relatives are going to be like, what's going on with your hairline? and you can tell them, you know what? I'm on it thanks to Hims, okay? And I'll see you next year at Christmas, and you're not going to say diddly squat, okay? Hims can help you do that. No hidden fees, no surprise costs, just real personalized care on your schedule. Think of Hims as your digital front door that gets you back to your old self with simple 100% online access to trusted treatments for real health concerns all in one place. For simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/redflags. That's hims.com/redflags for your free online visit, hims.com/redflags. Individual results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Featured products include compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information.
So that was kind of his problem. He's almost like a victim of his own success, is that he'd show up early, do well, and then kind of slip. He would slip a little bit.
Yeah.
Whereas Oscar would start off shitty and then kind of jump.
Right.
And then we're like, he's got the killer instinct.
Yeah.
He's got the killer instinct. So I guess if Lando wins this championship, and then he never wins another race, but is still another WDC, but remains competitive, I think we're looking at a Jenson Button.
Yes.
That's what we're looking at, because I think Jenson Button had that similar. Jenson Button came in as a hotter prospect than Lando.
Mm-hmm.
Jenson came in, they were like, because he was a karting wizard. His dad was a driver, like a very famous British driver, not in F1, but in some other series that
supercars, I think.
If you care about other shit, Jensen's dad is cool.
Right.
Obviously very cute.
Right.
And he had he had that kind of, and British. And he had that kind of, is he the next great British hope? And there was a lot of pressure on him to be that next guy.
Right.
And it turned out to be Hamilton, obviously. But yeah,
I think Lando's got two paths in front of him right now. He either becomes a Jenson Button, or he becomes a Vettel.
I think there's actually another one. There's another one. There's a middle one.
Who else?
So it's either Jenson Button is like actually probably the worst, because I don't think he flames out. I mean, he could flame out and become like who's someone who flames out? Villeneuve, Hill. I mean, he's better than Hill, I think. But
Who's your other person that you think he could become?
So the middle one is like Hakkinen.
Mm-hmm.
Because Hakkinen stole two in the Schumacher era, he nabbed two.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
When Schumacher broke his leg, he got one, and then there was another year where he stole one from him, and like Hakkinen was the blip in the Schumacher just
era.
reign of terror.
Right.
There was two blips, and it was Hakkinen. Hakkinen stole two, and I think maybe one other person stole one, but Hakkinen was kind of the
Villeneuve, I think, stole the other one. Yeah.
Villeneuve stole the other, right? So it was like in that decade, there was he won 7, and there was 3, and Villeneuve got 1, and
Hakkinen got 2.
Hakkinen got 2. So maybe if he gets another one, he might be viewed as like, oh, he was the other guy that was kind of mixed up in that had the misfortune of being the second best guy. Arguably the second best guy next to the greatest of that era.
Right. Which would be a fucking honor, considering that the other guys who are like in this era are the George Russells and the Charles Leclercs of this world. So
that would be,
and for them, for Lando to kind of be atop that list.
Yes.
Just purely in terms of like WDCs, because people have their own opinions, whatever. But like if Leclerc stays at Ferrari and never wins a championship, and for whatever, and maybe the McLarens are just better than Mercedes always from now on, which like I don't think is that crazy of a thought. And George never wins one, then kind of Lando kind of cements himself a little bit in that area. And we're gonna go to
the best of the rest of that era.
We're gonna go
which
to
would
our
be great
awards,
for him.
but I gotta say something to the fucking Lando Norris haters. Scoreboard ho! Fucking suck my fucking dick. Lando Norris is a world drivers championship, a world drivers champion, whether you like it or fucking not. And whether you like it or not, he fucking earned it. He earned it. He had 18 fucking podiums this year. His floor was high. When he was bad, he wasn't as bad as when the other guys he was competing against were fucking bad. Yes, Max Verstappen is maybe the greatest of all time, but bitch, he still did not win this year's World Drivers' Championship. That was my boy Lando Norris. He's taken so much shit this year. Every fucking meme I see is people praying for his fucking downfall. Well, keep praying, bitch. He's WDC. He's going to have the number one on his fucking car next year and eat it and fucking weep.
Yeah, I wonder how much of the
Boom.
I want to go on the other very important thing.
Yes.
Next. The other important scoreboard. Alex Albon beat Carlos Sainz in the Drivers' Championship. That is arguably for the podcast more important. Okay.
Scoreboard ho.
Scoreboard ho. Fuck the podiums. It's all about the points. You guys reminded us about the points when he had 2 more points than Leclerc. Alex Albon has 73. Carlos Sainz has 64. That is a 9-point difference. When you think about it, that is more than a 10% gap. Okay.
Say that. Say that.
That's a 10%. That's a 10-point gap. Let's see where they finished. Let's see where the constructors was. So yeah, this is still what they finished in 5th. How much ahead? How much ahead? Well, where was 6th?
92.
Okay. Well, so it really didn't end up being that relevant. But yeah.
No, it's relevant. It's relevant to our predictions.
It's very relevant.
And what I said at the beginning of the year is that I said that it actually happened exactly as I said it would. I said that Alex Albon was slept on, and he's going to be more comfortable with his car, and he's going to build out a gap. And even if Carlos Sainz figures it out later in the season, it's not going to be enough.
Too little, too late. Head-to-head battle. Head-to-head battle. Albon 1, Carlos fucking 0. 0. Cero. Vamos.
Scoreboard ho. Scoreboard ho. Okay, let's get into our awards. Hottest moment of the day.
I thought Oscar's overtake was pretty cool. Lando's double kill was pretty cool.
I think the back-to-back Lando double kill into the Leclerc double kill was like, that whole little sequence was...
That was pretty fucking cool.
That was pretty great.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
I'll say that. Daddy of the day.
I'm going to say who it wasn't. It wasn't Adam Norris.
Yeah.
You know,
it might have been...
we're both getting married.
Yeah.
Panicking over what the parents are going to say at the wedding. Panicking. This did not give me faith in letting the parents have a moment in the sun. I don't know how you're feeling, but that was scary. So
I'm less worried I'm less worried than you.
You're happy. Glenn, have at it.
It'll be stiff. If anything, it'll just kind of be stiff and kind of like a little bit maybe not devoid of emotion is maybe what it will be. But it won't
I think
be
my dad will be too comfortable, just a little too comfortable.
Exactly.
I think we're going to need I'm going to wonder. I wonder if we're going to need a little bit of Oscar music, you know. And my dad's going to be like Adrian Brody.
Play him off.
No, I've done this before.
Sometimes you got to give people some time because these motherfuckers ramble at these weddings sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes these speeches go on and on and on. Like you got like 3-4 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. Because once you go past 5 minutes, you're like, this, wrap it the fuck up. Wrap it up, baby.
Yeah. It'd be the father of the groom should not be rambling. It just shouldn't happen. Yeah. It's like,
who's your dad? Well, okay. If it's maybe not Adam Norris, would it potentially be Sika Norris? Lando's mom.
Yeah, the mom was giving great vibes. She was giving me everything I wanted in the camera. She was doing everything right when I saw her. She gave Oscar a hug.
Mm-hmm.
I said it before. Real classy move. So I'm giving Daddy of the Day to, Lando's mom. She was awesome. I want to hug from Lando's mom.
I was thinking about giving it to Max.
Mm-hmm.
In a real show of non-toxicity for Max.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's giving like Dad went to therapy. How he kind of reacted to this whole situation.
Yeah, he was so zen about it. I couldn't believe it. He was a little too zen for me.
He was a little too zen. It's like, is Dad in a cult now? What happened? What happened to Dad? Dad, all of a sudden, doesn't care that I leave the dishes out? What's going on? Dad doesn't care that I...
Did Red Bull put him on SSRIs after Barcelona? Like, he really always keeps me guessing, right? Because he used his car as a fucking...
stabilizers.
He used his car as a fucking lethal weapon in Spain, and now he's like, it's just a game.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter if you win or lose. I'm
what
like,
does winning even mean?
The fuck? I just try to have fun out there, I'm like, what the fuck are we even talking about? You almost killed Lewis Hamilton. You almost killed him.
The game.
You drove your car on Lewis Hamilton's head on an international broadcast. You almost killed Lewis Hamilton in front of millions of people.
What the fuck?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Where will the real Max Verstappen please stand up? Where the fuck did he go?
I want his therapist.
Dude, he was at the dinner. He was at the dinner, arm around Lewis Hamilton.
Crazy. Talking about how he was going to give George a toe. What is this? This guy's changed more in 2 months than I've changed in my entire life. And I got fucking sober. What is this? I've been sober for 14 years. People still think I'm drunk all the time.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah,
you're
the exact same. You just don't drink anymore. That's
exactly. Yeah.
Truly, what happened, Max? Where did Dad go? What happened to Dad?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh. It's like when dad like when people like parents get divorced, or they're like, there's like a widowed situation, they have like a new girlfriend, and then all of a sudden they're just like getting into weird shit. You're like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, Dad's new girlfriend is like, he is a whole other person now.
My parents have been the exact same for my entire life. They just have become more and more themselves, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Radio of the day.
It's got to be world. Yeah, leave it to me. I know what to do.
No, Yuki. Penalty for what? He said something like that.
Murder? What murder? He's the greatest guy around. Oh, poor guy. Poor fellow.
Yeah. What penalty?
I mean, it was his last
penalty. What penalty?
I love him so much.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Bro, what penalty, bro?
Did you like the hello? Is this the championship hotline? One Zak Brown here, calling for one Lando Norris.
I thought it was so lame and cringe,
dude. But Oscar. Did you listen to the onboard of Oscar after the race?
No.
Oscar's engineer is like, hey, Oscar, great race. So Lando's champion. He got it done. And he's like, he's just like, he's breaking the news, but he's like, he's meeting the vibe of like, this is good for the team, good for Lando, but obviously not great for you. And this might be tough for you. And he's like mid-sentence, his engineer. And then over the top, Zak Brown comes in. He's like, woo! Oscar, buddy! You did it, baby! You're the man! You're the freaking man, Oscar! I love you! I love you, Oscar! Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba! Yeah! Awesome job this year, buddy! You're awesome! Okay, we'll see ya! And then,
So
Oscar's like answering, and he's like, oh, yeah, like, thanks, guys, like, happy for the team, happy for Lando. And then Zach comes in again, cuts off Oscar, and he's like, yeah, baby, you're the man. You're awesome. You are the man. Oh, yeah, Oscar, you're the man. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Read the room, buddy.
So, yeah, I'm really heartbroken over this, but, I think we'll come back. Woo, 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 woo. He's crazy.
He did say afterwards, he was like, it's interesting, like, there's been so much papaya, like, everyone, the papaya rule, blah, blah, blah. Like, it worked by 2 fucking points. Like, but you know what? They won. It did ultimately work, but they were saying, because Lando said after the race, he was like, Oscar will be a world champion. He gave props to him and said, he's like, Oscar will be a world champion. Then they asked Zach about that. They said, Lando said that Oscar's going to be a world champion one day. And Zach was like, 100%. 100% he's going to be a world champion. Absolutely. Absolutely. And they're like, next year, does this change anything? So then he goes, nope. Next year, doing the exact same thing. No number one's here. No number one's here. We're running it back. We're running it back, baby. So we'll see. I mean,
they must be feeling pretty good about themselves.
They're feeling very good.
They're like, yep. We got it in. We did it.
We did it.
I think maybe that's part of where the Max rooting for Max comes from. It just feels like it was a bit tortoise in the hair. They were jerking around a little bit.
100%.
And that's where some of the animosity towards Lando was coming from. I think some of it was directed at him directly, personally.
Yeah, no, but a lot of it was kind of like through Zach and through how everything, like, he got the runoff of, there's times where we've seen Lando be a brat, but like, within these papaya rules, it hasn't been Lando, kind of like stomping his feet and saying like, treat me nicer. You know what I mean? Like, it's it's just happened, and he's gotten more calls this year than Oscar. And, the favoritism that is, maybe not conscious, but definitely subconscious at McLaren, reared its head, and he caught the brunt of it. But,
it's interesting. I want to ask your opinion. Like, it seems like in the beginning they agree to shit, and then that's how they race. And then it was interesting to learn that, that they used to look at each other's data. And then weirdly, they decide we're not doing that anymore.
For Abu Dhabi.
I think they decided that earlier. They didn't do it.
Did they?
They decided that a few races ago. And I thought, interesting. I feel like that they didn't like, because I think there had been some ink spilled about how Oscar's just always looking at Lando's data.
Yeah.
About setting up a car. Because, Oscar has less experience. Lando's probably better at setting up a car at this point. So it's interesting that I wonder if Lando was cheating off Oscar's tests, if they would have shut that down.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
it just seems interesting that you agree to something. These are the rules. This is how we're going to go racing. And then all of a sudden, Oscar's
seemingly
an advantage to Oscar, and you cut it off. You cut it down?
They both have to agree to it. Now, maybe Oscar felt pressure to agree with it if it was like Lando's idea. You know what I mean? Then, but seemingly they would both have to agree. And I think
why would they both have to agree?
I think that's how they run shit over there. It's like, I think that they sit down with the drivers, and this is what they've said repeatedly. They've been like, we sit down with them. Why, this is what they credit for the, upkeep of the image and the vibe is like, no, like we're still, everything's good. It's disappointing, but I'm a company man. What they've said, what Andrea and Zach have said about that is that like they involve both of them in all of these decisions. But
why would Oscar ever agree to that if it's his?
Well, maybe he felt pressure to agree.
Right.
Maybe he felt pressured to agree to it. Who knows? But I think that's kind of how they run shit there, and I'm curious going into 2026 what the new papaya, because I think the papaya rule is somewhat reset every year, and then maybe every third or quarter of the season they have another discussion. They will the goalpost moves and whatever. I'm curious what the kind of new papaya rules will be and how they will go racing into 2026.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I really hope that McLaren learns a bit about some of the ways that we've handled these things last year. Let's try to let them race in a way that feels
organic,
like we are not tipping the scale,
or just overmanaging it.
Overmanaging
it. Yeah.
Red flag of the day. I think it's got to be MBS grabbing Lando Norris's hair in the cooldown room.
We think it's
MBS
because then he did it because we know he did it again. We saw a hand. If you remember the cooldown room, guys, there's a hand that reaches out. It's a hand, and it's got a white sleeve that looks like a thobe. It definitely a thobe. It's someone in a thobe.
Sleeve, yeah. Right.
And there's only one guy who wears a thobe that walks around like he fucking owns a place, and it's MBS.
Right.
And he grabs this guy by the hair, violently. And it's and it's so, it looks like a POV porn. It's fucking weird.
I know.
I'm like, am I on a, what the fuck?
Like the fucking, you sent over the fucking drinking milk meme.
Yeah, he was giving drinking milk meme. And then, and I was like, was that him? I can't believe it. I'm not sure. And then he did it again when he was giving on the podium when he was giving the WDC trophy. Lando had a hat on. He took off Lando's hat, did it to him, and then put it back on his head. But he did it goofy.
Yeah.
So it was his head was at a jaunty angle all of a sudden.
Yep.
It was so fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just a red flag. I mean, the whole way. I mean, you guys, he's such a joke. It's very Michael Scott. He wants to be friends with these guys. He's such a wear my hug at son.
Right.
And also the hall monitor. It's such a deadly combo.
But it's also it's just this guy just won the WDC. And there's this need, and I think it's there's an age thing to this whole thing too. When you just gotta you gotta sun a guy, and I think that Lando's an easy target for that. Remember when someone poured water on his head?
Was it Coulthard?
I think maybe Coulthard.
Maybe Coulthard or something.
Yeah, I think Coulthard poured water on Lando's head. And then Lando hugged him because he was wet in one of the post-race interviews. I just think that Lando, and this is where I kind of get my my fucking I need got to defend this fucking, because I think people just think that they're they can just sun him. They're just yeah, you're a fucking little bitch. I can do whatever I want to you. Do you David Coulthard would never pour water on Max Verstappen, on Lewis Hamilton.
Chance.
You think Mohammed Ben Salem is pulling Max Verstappen's hair? Absolutely not. No fucking way is he doing that. And it's just, it is ultimately, and you know why? Because they respect them too much.
Right.
And they view them as being
men.
Someone who, men who they can't do that to. And they
do that to a boy.
You
do that to a boy.
Yes.
You do that to a kid.
Yeah, and it's so disrespectful.
But it's also
so disrespectful.
But he did it. He did it in. It's he always does it on camera.
Right.
He does it twice, and he makes sure it's to draw attention to himself.
Dude, the camera was on the back of Lando's head, and he went in and fucking grabbed it. He was will be on.
There's a famous. I read something in the search. It wasn't the Searchers. It was the Magnificent Seven. Steve McQueen made sure he was always in the frame, and he was always doing something. To make sure that that the viewer, because he didn't have it was I think Yul Brynner was the star at the time, because Yul Brynner was a bigger star than Steve McQueen, And but Steve McQueen made sure he was always adjusting his saddle, playing with his gun, putting on so you're always looking at Steve McQueen. And and that was calculated because he was trying to be a movie star. This guy is a fucking referee.
Yeah.
Should be behaving that way.
Yeah.
He's such a fucking tool. Such a fucking tool. Also, we were talking about this on Patreon. Abu Dhabi, you got all the money in the world. You don't have a place for your pit crew to meet your guys, meet the WDC. Your guest of honor in the first part was Benson Boone. I mean, it's so funny. Like,
dude, I said maybe it was going to be bad luck for Red Bull that Benson Boone was in the Red Bull garage, and I think I was right.
Yeah, it's just funny that they have that they're halfway across the world. They have unlimited resources, and they have the taste of the most basic white person in the world.
The flippin' Mormon, baby. Benson
the
Boone.
Flippin' Mormon.
Boone. Wait, before we go, Emrata, Yuki, met. And baby, that's because of us.
That is 100%.
Because of us, baby.
That is 1,000% because of us.
That is because of us.
He had no idea who she was until us. We have him on video. For any of you thinking that we're being narcissists, we have him on tape saying that.
He had no idea who she was. He started following her after we made this connection and made it public. And now they met.
For those of you who don't know, Emily Ratajkowski wore our shirt. And then we made a big deal. She didn't tag us or anything. I was actually we were in the middle of a merch meeting. I was telling everybody like how we weren't doing well and that we need to get our weight up. And then I was checking our stories and someone said, check Emrata's story. I'm like, people are always DMing us like, check this. Isn't this funny? Check this thing out. And I'm like, who the fuck is Emrata?
Yeah.
So I click Emrata. I didn't know it was Emily Ratajkowski. Right. And she's wearing our shirt. And I just started screaming, oh my God. Oh my God. Screaming at the top of my lungs. And then Brian, who's used to me overreacting, was like, Matt, what is it?
Like what, Matt? What is it this time?
And I go, everybody. And we're like, it's Brady Bunch, like 6 people on a Zoom. I go, everybody, check Emily Ratajkowski's Instagram stories right now. And then I got to sit there and watch 6 people like whip out their phones. We got a woman in the Philippines. We got someone in South Africa. We just watch people all over the world go, oh my God.
We're like, merch meeting is canceled. I need to go. My Yuki shirt was in the wash. I was going to pick it up the next morning. I had like my, I pay to get my, I drop it off. I do wash and fold. And I ran, like the place was about to close. I ran. It was like, I need my bag. Got it, ran in, did the thing. And we got Lando. We got a Lando Championship merch. We've got Yuki 2027 merch. We got good new merch. Check it out. Get on our website. Free shipping, baby. TheRedFlagsPod.com. Always free shipping. What you see is what you pay, baby. No hidden bullshit. That's what we do. We ship.
And subscribe to the Patreon.
Baby.
We're going to be keeping you guys warm in the holiday season.
You can gift the Patreon. And you can do it right for December. You can do a yearly for, I think, with 15% off. You can buy for the year. And you can buy someone the gift of the Patreon for the year. Give people the gift of the Vankas. We forgot Karen of the day.
Everybody was pretty chill. Too chill. I wanted more Karens.
Yeah. There wasn't enough Karen behavior. You're right.
Brundle. Jenny says Brundle.
100% Brundle.
Wanting Yuki strung up.
It really put a bad taste in my mouth. It really put a bad taste in my mouth, the way that they were handling the whole thing. I was like, guys, you are really not beating the British bias allegations. And also, if I have to hear one more time, Ted Kravitz being like, if you need to go make your tea, don't do it now because we've got a few laps before this gets really interesting. I'm like, bitch, most people who are watching this thing are not making tea. The entire English-speaking world watches your feed, and only the ones in fucking Britain are tea people. We threw that shit in the fucking ocean, and that's what we did. Suck our dicks.
Tea fucking sucks. Tea fucking sucks.
What is wrong with you? Tea fucking sucks.
One of the worst things about being sick
is coffee like a fucking person.
One of the worst things about being sick is not actually being sick, is having to drink tea. Having tea forced upon you by your loved ones. Drink this. Right. No! Drink it now.
Tea fucking sucks. You know what you should do? Drink coffee, or hey, have some fucking neurogum, baby.
Neurogum,
have some fucking neuro. Dude, I had to take some neuro before the race because I was out till 2 a.m. last night. Didn't get to bed till 3. Woke up at 7:30 and was like, I need to power through. Popped in.
I went to bed at 8:30 at night because I wanted to be ready because I knew that I was going to have a religious experience and that Max was going to win because I had such blind faith in him.
Yeah.
I was like,
he let you down today. He kind of let me down today.
He let me down. I mean, I always knew that Lando was going to win, so this isn't a big deal, but I also had blind faith in, I mean, on the Patreon, I was saying like, inshallah, inshallah, or however, people are commenting that I don't know how to fucking say it, and I'm sorry. I've only read it, but I really had blind faith because you want to know, like, karmically, I'm not saying Lando didn't deserve it, but like fucking McLaren, they deserved to get a kick in the ass for this.
Right.
I hate that Zak Brown is going to be on his fucking private plane back to wherever the fuck, being like, yeah, no notes.
Yeah,
I fucking crushed that. Like, that sucks.
It's true.
Like, even Lando fans have to be cognizant of the fact that sucks. That Zak Brown's going to be like, crushed that.
Everyone doubted me. They were foolish because I had it in the bag the whole time. It's like, no, babe, you barely squeaked out that fucking win.
I can't.
2 points, dude. He won the championship by 2 points.
He should have won by 2,000. Although, you want to know what? We would have hated if he had pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
And made a choice. That would have sucked too. So he's kind of in a tough spot. And although, like, you would have wanted something earnest from that moment, I also love that he came in with a dad joke. Yeah, like, he's such a fucking American dad. Like, that's on character. Like, I kind of, like, at the moment I thought it was cringe, and also because of the whole messy circumstances in which the championship came about, he came in like, haha, never doubted us for a second, huh?
Yeah.
Like, that was kind of weird. But in that same way, I never want Red Bull to be complacent. I always want them to be the evil. I want them to be the Slytherins. Yeah. Like, it's going to be a shitty place if everybody in the sport is, if we're in a monolithic culture where everybody kind of respects the rules and doesn't complain. And no, you want the Red Bull to be the evil.
It's a gentleman's sport. Fuck that. Fuck a gentleman's sport.
I want the legacy of Christian Horner, the good parts, or the good parts, right? Which is you're fucking working the refs,
the just race craziness,
the race craziness, the having the printouts like the Zapruder film showing why Max is innocent and how and saying and cheating, getting caught going over the budget cap, and then saying Zak Brown shouldn't be accusing us of cheating because Red Bull employees' children are getting bullied at school. When that happened, I was like, this guy is on a fucking another level and no one can compete with this guy. Like, being accused of cheating and then flipping it around and saying, how dare you accuse me of cheating because children's lives are at stake. Brilliant. Like, why would we want that to go away? Why would we want?
You need it. You need the chaos. You need someone who is going. You need someone in there who's just gonna fucking do whatever the fuck it takes. And yeah, I think that's interesting. I wasn't expecting for this to be the kind of takeaway of this episode, but yeah, the more that I've sat with it, the more I've kind of been like, wow, they kind of this didn't feel like a vintage Red Bull performance in a way. It felt like a McLaren type. It feels like Red Bull has kind of moved in the McLaren
to the middle.
Mercedes
They've moved
direction.
to the middle.
They've moved to the middle.
To the middle. And everyone's, people are saying, oh, Mekis is going to clean up. They're not going to be like that anymore. It's going to be a more chill vibe. I go, no, absolutely not. Right. Keep that. That's what makes you guys unique. Yeah. I mean, why are we... Every team should have its own unique way of going about things. And I think if you're a fucking psycho, Red Bull's your team.
Right.
And that was why I had a problem with McLaren. They didn't back Oscar in Silverstone. They didn't. Right. They didn't. I forgot. They said they should have fucking complained when he got that penalty in.
Right.
Where was the penalty? In Brazil, they were like, well, they didn't say shit.
Yeah.
They didn't say shit. They just said, well, that's a bummer. We'll get him next time. No, fuck that. Yeah. And then guess what? Then they both got DQ'd in Vegas, right?
Right.
If there was a problem with the Red Bull car in the Christian Horner days, they go, we might have to DQ Red Bull. They would have thought long and hard about DQing Red Bull. They go, oh, fuck, maybe we just...
I mean, I think the DQ is like, that's just like, it's numbers on a thing. That's a little
They didn't have to call him in.
Right.
But McLaren rules are rules, yes.
But the penalties that they didn't fight in Silverstone gave them like the full permission to throw what a lot of people think was a bullshit penalty in Brazil.
Yeah.
And, and for them to not fight. Anyway, we've gone through it enough. That's the fucking thing. Last race of the year, baby. Last race of the year, 2025, in the fucking books. And, this pod would not be possible if it wasn't for our daddies. So we got to thank them. We got to thank Kayla, Robin, Jordan Texera, Jay Lingle, Spencer Grieve, Javier Romero, Sheila Valeri, Chandler, Ali Santana, Carla Huarlo, Kimberly Hueden, Alonso Over My Face 69, Donya Denad, Deadbeat Daddy Muhammad, Jimmy, Kimmy, sponsored by Mommy of the Pod, Hollister 584, Delusional Science Fan, Kat, Future Dog Tordion, Steph Grossi, JB Fresh, Laura, Emily Gillenwater, Cody Hull is my F1 daddy, Branch W, Keep Up the Science Hate, Hunter Scruggs, Salmonella Mozzarella, I'm a Leclerc fan, and yes, it hurts, Jay Kess, George Russell's Evil Peter Parker from Spider-Man 3, Matt Edwards is always right, I wish I was Max and Danny's love child, Delaney Andrews, Henry Caskey, Miles Huligs, Alexander, Meggie B, Kaylee Breyer, Eva the Y, Devin, a.k.a. the future Dr. Sullivan's PA, Courtney Frazier, Yuki Sonoda's other mother. Jenny is the reason I am a daddy. Megan, Aaron, Pineapple with a Y. Matt has a secret boner for Carlos Sainz. Unfortunately, it's Gary. Carolina, my name is AJ, and fuck the HOA. K-Man can fuck smash my door any day. The official F1 race program and its executive editor, Sarah. I got tickled by the Tifosi. Hey, Jet, good luck out there. Allison Sane, Zhuzh, F1 Dude Company, Trent Slickman, Code Brown, Sonoda, Jerome Ferreira, Colapinto is a fraud. Aaron, Shahid, Gene Rockstar, Chohun, Shake and Bake, Cata Lick My Balls, Say Fear, Shaw Leclerc, Truth Bringer, Mama Burns, Arthur Leclerc is hotter, Car Loss Science, OP Goblin, Right Meow, James, DNCTT, Finny, Deddy, Kev, Not Magnuson, Mike, Bavi, Lando Norris's unofficial girlfriend, My Guy, Crush, Winkin, Lizzie Y, Jafar from afar, Stroll paid the troll toll to get in the boys' hole. It's the newest one. Honorary Daddy of the Pod this week, every week. Nicole Piastri. There was a beautiful moment we saw of Oscar hugging all the Piastri girls, Nicole, the three sisters. He's going to need all the love that you have to give, and we feel for you guys right now, but I think he's going to bounce back. He's going to have a good year next year. He's going to run it back, and I could see him winning this championship next year. It's not fucking over. If you want to become a daddy of the pod, go to patreon.com/TRFpod. Become our benefactor of the day. Get on the Patreon, baby. Buy our merch, baby. Off season. We got Vank Hours coming out on Wednesday. We're going to do a year wrap up. We got our interviews with Yuki and Isaac are on our channel right now. Go watch them after this. If you've already spent an hour and a half of your time, why not spend a little bit more, baby? They were great interviews. And that's it, baby.
And not just our daddies. We couldn't have done it without you guys, just you listeners.
That's true. It's been an amazing year.
We got newer fans. The people that have been there since the beginning, the people that have just joined. Thank you so much for paying attention to us, which, because not enough people paid attention to us when we were little, and that's why we're doing this now. So
that's right.
That's why we need more of you, and you guys paying attention have done so much to fill the gaping chasm within our souls, but also we were living on stimulus checks when this whole thing started. So thank you so much.
Yes.
For feeding our egos and literally us. We literally couldn't do this without you. So I really just, people say it's humbling. I mean, people say that they're so humbled. It's like, oh my God, we have, hundreds of thousands of followers and thousands of subscribers, and so humbling. Like, no, it's like, how could it not be anything other than make you feel amazing about yourself? Like, you guys make us feel amazing about ourselves, and we thank you. It's an amazing feeling to be so supported, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, you guys, it's been an amazing year, and you guys have helped this pod grow to a point where I think, we were like, well, where will people really, and then now I get to say the amount of people that listen and watch our podcast, and people go, whoa, holy shit.
What's crazy?
And I get to feel great because you guys
forced us to grow up. I mean, my girlfriend was like, when are we going to get engaged? And I said, I can't even afford a ring. I just can't do it. And then you guys forced me in a position where I had to.
Both of us. We're both engaged. Like, we're both literally engaged because you guys watch this fucking show. We're both able to buy engagement rings because we were able to watch. We were watching this show, and we got our lives together enough that there was no more excuses that we could give to our girlfriends that why we weren't getting married. So it's because of you guys that we're getting married, and when we have kids, it'll be because of you guys, and you guys are going to feed our kids. We love you. Thank you so much. Thank you to Jenny. Thank you to Jenny, who's put in amazing work this year. She is the fucking secret sauce. She is the glue of this podcast.
Jenny, get your ass on here. Get your ass on here.
We got Jenny.
Hello, y'all.
Jenny, 30 seconds. 30 seconds to take a victory lap, and then the rest is going behind a paywall. You know how it goes. Nobody gets Jenny for fucking free.
I'm so proud to say that I'm part of this incredible project, and I'm so grateful that you two responded to my psychotic PowerPoint, and that now we're here and it's taken over my life, but I wouldn't have it any other way. And I really quell every time we're at a race and someone stops you and people recognize you, and my heart is just bursting. And to everyone listening, thank you so much. We're so grateful. You've helped build this to what it is today, and I hope you have a part of it. And I'm so grateful that you let me do something that I love doing. I love all y'all, Venkas.
Yeah, well, we
hell yeah.
It's now a requirement.
You're on the wrong mic. This is beautiful. This is perfect. Now Matt's on the wrong. Now you're getting a real behind the scenes look. Matt's never on the. This is a victory lap. We're doing donuts. Matt's never on the right mic. And I don't know. You just tapped it. Now you're on your Bluetooth headphones.
Damn it! And I was just shitting on Jenny for being on the wrong mic.
Leave it
Keep it all in.
We got to give a thing. We got to give a shout out to Gage, who's come on as our producer. Recently, we gotta give a shout out to our king Brian Baker, who's more famous than all of us. TikTok king, Dance with the Stars king, who's been our fucking workhorse behind the scene along with Jenny for the last few years. We gotta give thanks to fucking BetMGM for sponsoring us. All the sponsors that have come in with us. We gotta give thanks to Almost Friday Media, who have been our media partners as we've done this pod, and Jacob Seltzer. Got so many people to thank.
We have the whole intern team that does behind the scenes.
Interns, our merch squad.
We got Aniela, we got Issa, we got Gwen, we've got Gabby, we've got Connor, we've got Ainsley. Thank y'all. You all help this go so smoothly.
We got Alex, Nicole, and Mateo on the merch.
Mateo.
And Robin.
And Robin.
So every time you say there's some dope merch, there are designers behind that, and
genius designers.
They are locked in.
Us. I'm like, have we met? We got interns of the past. We got Marcy. Shout out to Marcy.
Yes.
We got Beckett.
Beckett.
Our OG.
Who started it all.
Beckett.
Started it all.
No, everyone who has helped along the way, people that have shared our shit, introduced us to showed our show to their friends, the whole thing. We love you.
And I want to thank one more person.
For us.
It's really a collective. The fucking haters. Because that just keeps me going. I read the comments and I laugh and I cackle like a madman.
Matt lets the haters be his motivators.
As the greatest mayor of New York City once said, my haters become my waiters as I sit down at the table of success.
That's right.
Let's fucking go.
Eric Adams gone too soon. Just kidding. Fuck Eric Adams. But that's an amazing phrase. And that is true, baby. Keep on hating, baby. It fucking feeds us, boobies. Gives us something to push up against. All right. That's it. That does it for us. Mwah.
But we'll probably be back in like a week. So it's
like,
but this.
Oh yeah, for the flaggies, the flaggy awards.
We're doing the flaggy.
And we're doing bank hours, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
And we got an interview with David Coulthard coming up. We're gonna keep you fed this offseason. We're gonna keep you fed. Don't worry. Don't fucking unsubscribe. We're almost at 75,000 followers on YouTube. Get us there. We're so close. We love you. And Gunter, obvious. Whatever. Now we've gone on too much.
Goodbye, Vankers.
Goodbye, Vankers. We'll see you on Wednesday.